Hi, this is Alex. Today I'm gonna show these two things that I've been working on, and as of a comment request, I am going to kind of start walking through the steps I would go through to start designing a supercar, sports car, whatever you want to call it, using these types of wheels with the wheel hubs, and then also having suspension on both axles. So this part of the video, I'm going to be going over just getting the mechanical set up, such as suspension, steering, and yeah. And then I'll also talk about motors and stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. So, first thing, I've been working on this live axle suspension setup with the motor right here, and then that drives the differential through a universal joint. It has springs on both sides, and it works voice crack. It works pretty well. As you can see, you can lift up one side without this part lifting up, which is the whole point of live axle suspension. And then it also works normally just as a solid axle suspension system. So this works pretty well. The main system that I'd be working with would just be this portion. I'd probably add a bunch to it. But the reason I have this is the testing portion. Now, when you're designing stuff, you are always testing to make sure your design works, so you don't integrate it all into a big car and then have it not work. So, over here, we have the steering system. Now, things to think about for steering. It's not too complicated. The hardest part for me was finding where the actual suspension pieces would go. But I have been looking around on YouTube, another good place where you can look for designs and inspiration, which I saw these angled pieces being used, and so I mounted that up. Now, I don't have a servo motor connected to this because, again, don't have a servo, broke. But yeah, so when you turn this piece here, the wheels turn, which is what it's supposed to do, and then it also has independent suspension, like so. Now, back over to this. When you're looking at this, so you will have a servo if you're making a RC car, but the servo would go connected to this right here. Now, think of mounting points. When you are designing, you always want to have leave as many mounting points for yourself as you can for the future, because what happens a lot is you will have to build a design, and while you're building it, you'll have to stop and take it apart to you may have pins in the hole that you want to put a connector into for on top of it. And so you want to leave as many mounting points and opportunities for your future self to build on it, which this doesn't have a great amount, as you can just see here. Not great for mounting points, but I can figure something out. It's a good design. Main thing I was focusing on was the suspension. So that's good. You'd have the servo motor, and then you'd have your back suspension. Both really good. The next thing you would want to focus on is connecting everything. Now, since I don't have my servo, I'm going to wait to finish this video. But another good thing that you can do in the meantime, if you don't have a servo like me, is just experiment with designs. I have independent suspension system for the rear axle, and this is live axle. Different type of suspension, depends on what you want to do. Also experiment with gearing. I'll show something I've been working on just over here back at my workstation. It's this right here. It has the two motors mounted, and you can see the gears and the differential. This is special because I've never been able to mount the motors directly in line with the frames, and I was able to do that because I used it actually transfers one stud up from the start of the motors, so that transfers up, goes through the 3-to-1 into the differential. So this is a really good technique that I found, and I'm going to use this in a future RC car. Really good. Now, as you see, still a mess. My iPad's there. I can watch stuff while I work. So yeah, so just like this, keep tinkering. It's good for you. And challenge yourself, like I've done with challenging a car to see how much weight it can carry. That's pretty cool. That is all I've got for today. Say hello to my cat, Toby. And yeah, one last look. Got this. Now, I don't do building instructions just because I don't have a very good design software, and I have trouble getting the footage onto the computer to edit, but I'm working on it. But I'm just going to give a close-up so you can kind of tell how it goes together. And here's the back side. Okay, and then here's this portion. Just got the motor, the springs that attach to that piece, then the differential. That's all. Bye.